This is Bloomberg West. I'm Emily Chang. Daily Deals websites are bringing the efficiency of the social web to a potentially huge, untapped market for local businesses. Groupon and LivingSocial make a simple proposition to business owners. You slash your prices, we bring you customers, and we both share the revenues. These types of deals have made Groupon one of the fastest growing companies of all time, surging to a $25 billion valuation in just 3 years. The company expects $3 to $4 billion in revenue this year after spurting a $6 billion buyout offer from Google in December. Groupon's ascendant rival, LivingSocial, is also sharing the wealth. Backed by Amazon, it plans to triple staff and expand into hundreds of new markets this year alone. Now, for more on the evolving daily deals market, we're joined by Tim O'Shaughnessy, CEO of LivingSocial. He joins us from our newsroom in Washington, D.C. Tim, welcome to Bloomberg West. So you said you were going to overtake Groupon's U.S. sales by January 2012. How's that going for you?
So I'm no oracle, but we're clearly one of the leaders in the local commerce space, and we've been gaining, I think, market share and growing faster than anybody out there. So, if that trajectory continues, who knows where things end up. So, but we've been growing fast. We've been working very, very aggressively, and I think we're clearly one of the leaders in the space now.
You now have more than 350 daily deal competitors. You're competing with bigger companies like Yelp, OpenTable, even travel websites now competing for these daily deals. How do you beat that kind of competition? And is your business model, is it defensible?
Yeah, I think there's two things on that. The first is that we've grown massive amounts of share over the last year or two. So clearly, even as new competitors have been coming in the space, they're realizing that it might be an easy business to get into, but it's a very hard business to scale. I think the second thing is that you need to look and think that the business is more than just daily deals. It's really local commerce. So while we may have a daily deal and we provide a great offer in the city that you live in, we also have something called LivingSocial Escapes, which is kind of this weekend in a box travel experience. We produce and curate our own custom events through LivingSocial Adventures. So it's really more than just the daily deal. It's all about local commerce overall.
Tim, let me ask you about that competition with Groupon. I was at a great restaurant in Oakland called Bellanico the other day, and they had a LivingSocial deal going. And I asked the owner, why LivingSocial, not Groupon? And he said, LivingSocial gave me a better deal. Basically, you guys were cutting price where Groupon wasn't. He also said your salesperson was better. But I wonder, is price competition, where do we stand with pricing and deals? How important is that, and what's the future of that?
Well, I think that every merchant and situation is unique. So we spend a lot of time trying to understand what makes sense for the consumer, what makes sense for the merchant, and what makes sense for LivingSocial. And really, it only works when all three of those things combine together. So, we really try and make it where the merchant will make money on their very first deal. The customer's happy and we're happy. And one of the things that we have is we do have great salespeople that will walk in and talk and interact with that merchant in their restaurant and understand what's important to them, which is really differentiating. We've got people on the ground in every city from Lubbock, Texas to New York.
Now, Tim, they're Hitwise reported that Groupon is losing traffic to its site while you guys are still gaining traffic. There's been other data, controversial data recently about Groupon, suggesting that they had a drop-off after the month of December, into the first quarter. They hadn't seen it the previous year. Are you guys seeing that, and why would Groupon be dropping off right here?
It's hard for me to speak for them specifically, but we think the space overall is growing. Local commerce is a huge, some would say it's a $100 billion space, and our piece of it is growing substantially. We've been growing massively. We've doubled in the last 3 months. So I think that you could say that we're on a pretty nice trajectory and that we're growing very, very aggressively right now.
Tim, Bloomberg has reported that Groupon is in talks with bankers to raise money at a $25 billion valuation in an IPO. What's your take on that number?
It's clearly a big number. I think it would be one of the biggest technology IPOs ever. I think there's a long way between here and there. I'm more of I like to deal in facts more than conjecture, unfortunately. But I think that clearly it just shows the validation of this space and how big it's grown, and that there really is an opportunity for local businesses to interact with local merchants or local consumers, and that people that can be that conduit will create a lot of value for those businesses.
All right, Tim, here's a fact you can deal in. You guys are trying to raise, we've reported, $400 million. How's that going, and what do you need the money for?
So unfortunately, that's something that we just don't comment on, kind of rumors or speculation around fundraising. So can't give you anything there.
It wouldn't have your rumor coming from you. Coming from you, it could just be a fact, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry, it's just something that we're not commenting on.
Valuation. Is a $2 billion valuation about right for where you guys are right now?
I don't know. I mean, that's something that a market would define. But once again, it's not something that we are commenting on or ever have really commented on from a valuation perspective.
All right. Well, let me ask this then. Capital needs. What do you guys need money for? Where would you put that money to use?
Yeah, I think this business clearly has a lot of opportunity to grow and grow fast, and we still see that it's really the first or second inning here. So it's more than the daily deals business; it's the local commerce business. And we just launched a new product called LivingSocial Instant, which is really a real-time offering. It solves the problem of where do you want to go to lunch today, and you can pull up on your iPhone or on your Android, and we'll have merchants that are giving you real-time offers that it's go get Chipotle says you can get this burrito for $5, and CalTort says, okay, you can get a burrito and a drink for $6. You can actually buy through us, and it's real-time offerings. So we're expanding new products. We're growing internationally. We're in 12 countries now. We'll probably be in dozens more by the end of this year.
Tim, you've always said that your business depends on a boots-on-the-ground strategy and making acquisitions to actually get local people in these local markets. If Groupon goes public, they will raise a lot of capital to help them do more of those acquisitions. What could LivingSocial gain from going public?
Oh, I think there's a variety of reasons that people go public, whether it's needing the cash, whether it's needing liquidity, or kind of branding events. And so I think that if that were something that we were to ever consider, those are the three driving forces. So if something was necessitating more cash or liquidity, then that would be the driving force.
Quickly, can you say whether you're planning on going public? Are you exploring that option?
Like the funding questions, that's something that we just historically don't comment on.
All right. Thank you so much. Tim O'Shaughnessy, CEO of LivingSocial. We'll be watching you.